Hello, everybody. Eric Apricot here. The Warriors came out on top after an ending that was thrilling and weird and very legalistic. Gary Payton II played a huge part with his hustle plays. Because of the shot clock, Draymond has to hoist this desperation shot. GP2, he's matched up with Josh Giddy. At this point, he has to either start running down court or he has to go hard after this offensive rebound. He does neither, and this rebound just ends up being absolutely perfect for Giddy to start. A fast break the other way, GP2 is going to be caught trailing Giddy. Giddy accelerating to try to maintain an advantage. Steph has to guard this player. Clay was matched up with Casey Wallace, but now he has to stop Giddy from just going straight to the basket. Clay slows Giddy just enough. Even though Wallace is open in the corner, Gary Payton II just enough time to make a huge hustle play and deflect this pass. Clay and GP2 had to navigate a whole bunch of switches on defense. This looks like a cut to the corner with a screen on Clay. GP2 pointing at Clay, warning him the screen's coming. Clay points out with his arm that GP2 has to switch. Giddy's going to drive. On the weak side, Clay and GP2 have to navigate another switch. Clay's man comes over here to screen GP2. He does get a piece of GP2, but now GP2's man is springing free. Clay has to pick him up temporarily, and now here's where the trouble begins. Clay seems to think that this is just going to be a bump and recover. He's pointing to GP2, saying, switch back to this guy. I'm going to continue covering my man here. But GP2 is behind the guy, so Draymond needs to pick up this guy. Otherwise, he'll just go straight to the basket for a layup. And that leaves Draymond's man open in the corner. The pass is going over to Holmgren, who's going to have an open three. But GP2, quick reflexes, boink, deflects the pass. Amazingly, it goes right to another Thunder player who bats it out smartly. Things are really scrambled now. Instant screen for Giddy. GP2 is going to fight around it. Giddy drives. GP2 has got an intimidation factor. Really good basketball players seem to randomly lose their dribble around GP2. They might be just overthinking it, knowing that GP2 is great at stealing the ball. This is just a straight line drive, but he's just going to dribble the ball too far away from him. That causes him to lose control, which causes Draymond to stab in to go for this wobbly dribble. GP2 has a really nice view of the spin and just his hands are absolutely ready, right at ball level, waiting for the ball to spin around in its orbit. Excuse me, I believe you have my property. Yoink. The Warriors decide that Josh Giddy is the defensive weak link, so whoever he is guarding is going to become the screener. GP2 coming to set this wing screen. Steph going to split the two defenders. Steph's move even took GP2 by surprise. The spacing here is pretty questionable. Probably better if GP2 fades out to the wing or at least creates another lane. Steph sees this giant opening, two defenders trailing him. Nice strong finish. Braces himself, takes the bump from Chet Holmgren, gets it to go. It's hard to tell what play the Thunder coach is calling. I'm not sure that the Thunder players understand it either. He ends up walking onto the court to explain a little more carefully. I believe the play is that they want to pick on Steph, and Steph's man should come up to set a screen so that they force a switch to Steph. Draymond certainly thinks that's the play, and as this guy comes up to set the screen, Draymond signals to Steph, hey, go cover, of all people, Chet Holmgren. I'm going to cover this guy so you don't have to be involved in the pick and roll. Steph says, fine, I'll guard the enormous guy. And then Draymond here is trying to dissuade this guy from coming up to set the pick. At this point, the Thunder just abandon whatever the play is. This guy backs off. So now they're just spacing out for Jalen Williams to ISO Gary Payton II. Not optimal for Jalen. Have I mentioned that GP2 has this weird intimidation factor on people's dribble? Williams tries to turn the corner on GP2 and he just drops the ball and then kicks it soccer style to Chet Holmgren, which is not legal. Clay says, oh, look what I found, and gets fouled. Once again, GP2 setting the screen to pick on Josh Giddy. Last time, Steph split the defenders. This time, Warriors run what I call their zigzag action. GP2 screens and then slips the screen. Both these defenders are ready to deflect any pass over to GP2. And so instead, the zigzag action is to relay it to a man on the side who can then relay it back to the cutter. Pass from Steph. GP2 is open, but Lu Dort is just scary enough that Draymond doesn't think he can get this pass through. Everyone knows this Warriors action. Steph comes by and gets a dribble handoff from Dre. Josh Giddy's following Steph hard. Chet Holmgren starts moving in order to meet Steph on the other side, because no one ever got fired for following Steph Curry. Draymond says yoink. It was a fake handoff the whole time. Lu Dort has to stop Dre's drive. GP2 had been guarded by Dort. He's now open. Draymond sees this all the way. Soft little lob, which turns into a pretty difficult catch with this alert contest on GP2's back, but he sneaks it in. The Thunder run a simple split cut. Isaiah Joe screening for Lu Dort. Wiggins gets fully hung up on the screen. Kuminga would be better off switching to this cutter. Instead, Dort goes free to the basket. Draymond has to rotate, and he's just a step too slow and fouls him. Tie game, time running out. Steph wants to make sure they get the last shot. This is just a straight up ISO on Lu Dort. Simple stab left, using speed to turn the corner right. Holmgren rotating to contest this, so Steph knows he's got to get the ball up over Chet's contest. Game over, right? No, there's a whole legal proceeding that followed. This video is getting long, so we'll wrap up here, but if you want to see my analysis of the supposed goaltending by Draymond on the last play, and also a quick celebration analysis, follow me over to my personal channel. I'll put a link to the video over here.